Now I have the backside done and I have the edges tinned. So now this panel is done unless I want to do some touch-ups on it. Now that we're done with both sides of our panel, check to see that there are no blobs around the edges, and we check to see that all our solder seams are as smooth as can be and there's no touch-ups anymore that need to be done. And now we're going to begin the finishing process. And so the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that all the flux is washed off, and then we want to get the numbers off. Sometimes they come off with the flux. The flux is oily usually, and just using soap and water will get the numbers off. What I like to use is rubbing alcohol. Take a little, and we just rub it off that way. Don't ever scrub your glass to get the numbers off, because that is going to scratch your glass. So never use a green scrubby or any kind of scouring pad. It will scratch up your glass pretty good. Takes the shine away. This stuff is specifically made for stained glass, and it does a really beautiful job. It makes everything really, really shiny. It's a two-part substance, so you have to shake it. Put a little bit of wax on your towel, and it's wax on. Just like this, you're just like you're waxing a vehicle. You got to put a little bit of love into it, and right away you'll notice that the seams become instantly shiny. You have to do the application of the wax first, and you're applying it to not only the solder seams but also to the glass, because again you're trying to remove all of the residue from all those chemicals. When you apply the wax, it leaves a haze. Even though it's shining everything up, it's still leaving a haze that has to be removed. So the second step to waxing is buffing it off. So we've done the wax on, now we need to do, you guessed it, so instead of using these parts, we're going to use a different part, a clean part of the towel. We start buffing like this. Take your time doing something like this. Don't just swipe it across, because what will happen is if you just wipe it like this, you're missing all parts along the seams and parts where it gets hazy. And if you're using darker glass, this is going to be more pronounced. On this lighter glass, it's not going to be as obvious, but you want to dig your fingertips into all of these solder seams. So go along all of the solder seams to make sure you get all of that wax off. So if you have little pieces, dig into those little pieces. And there's no need to apply really any pressure here. I'm not pressing down on this window at all. I am just going across the surface. And then don't forget your outside edges. And now it's really shiny. And I'm going to do the other side the same way.